an entrepreneur or small business owner, right? Are you utilizing Facebook ads or Instagram ads? If not, it's probably because you just don't know how to produce the content. At earlhallstudio.com, we can create an audio commercial as well as video commercials for you to really get attention to your business and make more money. Audio commercials for radio and audio platforms start at just $99. Or you can go all in with a great commercial for your business to be aired online or even on TV, starting at just $197. Get more information at earlhallstudio.com.
And welcome into the show. Thanks so much for tuning in today to Align with Your Purpose. I'm your host, Earl Hall, broadcasting live on Conversations Radio Network, as well as on my Instagram feed. So make sure that you follow me on Instagram at Align with Your Purpose. Also visit the website, www.alignwithyourpurpose.com, to get all my updated information and links to everything that I do. Today is going to be an interesting day. I'm going to be talking from my book, Align with Your Purpose. That is the name of the book. It's out on Amazon. It's in Kindle format, paperback, as well as the audiobook format, read by yours truly, Earl Hall. Obviously, since I'm a voiceover artist, I read my own book, and it's out on Amazon. Today, the topic of the show is going to center around one of the chapters in my book, which is chapter 9. It's called Thoughts Become Things. And we've heard this before, many times, from, I know Eric Thomas, he's called the hip hop preacher. He talks about it. A lot of people in the, that understand The Secret, that understand law of attraction, they talk about thoughts become things. Obviously, it's a lot more in depth than just having a thought. But what I want you to think about in line with this whole topic of thoughts become things today is that there is nothing that you can look at. Nothing that you can look at, whether it was anything on your desk, from a piece of paper to a pen. If you have an audio studio like I have, your microphone, your computer, your software that you use on the computer, the webcam that you use, the mug that you drink your coffee from. All of these things were first thoughts before they came into reality. Thoughts do become things. You realize this more and more in your life when you take a look at how your life is developing and how your life has gone up into this point. The things that you are mostly focused on, your thoughts, and I'm going to dig in more to over and above your thoughts, your feelings that you have around certain things. You've heard me say before, have you ever been around people that just seem to be always negative? They have nothing positive to say. They can always see the glass as half empty, never half full or approaching full. The people that they're around are negative, they're negative, and they can cause you to be negative. These infect our thoughts. These infect our feelings around things. And if you don't have good feelings and thoughts about yourself, then things probably aren't turning out the way that you actually want them to turn out. Because if you're always the naysayer, the Debbie Dowder, the whatever names you want to come up with, the doubter, the negative person, your life turns out to be negative. Have you ever seen, and you can see this so much on people's Facebook feeds, the things that they talk about on Facebook, because we bare our souls in so many situations on Facebook. We tell everybody everything that we're going, well, some people do, tell everybody everything that they're going through. And one, because they want sympathy or they want empathy or they want someone else to kind of come to where it is that they are. And one of the things that I've always said about a social media site like Facebook, which is the biggest one that's out there, is, people will complain about things that are on Facebook, but you do realize that your Facebook feed is completely different from everyone else's. Your Facebook feed does more than expose what's going on in the world. It exposes you. because your Facebook feed is unique. Because Facebook only serves you up on your wall what it is that you have consistently said you want to see. So if you want to see kids fighting, you're going to see kids fighting. If you want to see racism, you're going to see racism. If you want to see political viewpoints from the right or the left, you're going to see that. It exposes who it is that we are. When you look at your Facebook feed, it shows you, and it's so amazing to me because I think it goes a lot deeper even than what I understand, but it shows you who you are. Facebook is more than just a social media site. It runs on an algorithm, and that algorithm pays attention to what it is that you say you like. It knows the videos you watch. It knows the things that you like. It knows the things that you comment on or give a heart to or smiley face. It knows what you're paying attention to. So when you look at your Facebook feed, is it positive or is it negative? Because all of those things that are on your Facebook feed will reveal to you your thoughts and your feelings in so many different cases. Your personal Facebook page. So when we talk about thoughts becoming things, think about what you're thinking about. More specifically, think about what it is that you think about yourself. What are the thoughts that you have centered around yourself, and how do you fix those things? How do you fix the thoughts that are centered around yourself? And we're going to talk about that when we come back from the break. But so many people have negative thoughts. They have self-limiting beliefs. And as a business coach, one of the things that I deal with predominantly in so many different cases is the negative thoughts and limiting beliefs that people have about themselves. These are the things that hold them back. These are the things that hold them back. So many times, you might be able to see some of this in your life, where you have a certain belief about whatever you want to name the topic to be, whether it's about other races, whether it's about other religions, whether it's about other cultures, whether it's about businesses, whether it's about politics or whatever. And it's like, well, if that person is this is the way that they are. Because your belief system has taught you that, the way that you were raised, your environment that you grew up in. And it's so funny when I went into the United States Air Force in 1987, and it was so amazing to me. This is kind of racial, but it's not. But I need to say this to prove a point. So bear with me. But going into basic training, you have people from all over the United States that are coming to basic training. And what was weird to me back in 1987 when I went in, there were people, and maybe there still are people, that have not ever seen a black person in real life. So you have these different understandings of what you think a certain type of person is, but until you actually meet and engage with that person, and being in something like the United States Air Force, which is a brotherhood, when you are in basic training, when you're going through training with different people and sharing different scenarios, there is no color. There's no time for racism, because you have to depend on that other person to either save your life or to give you information, vital information that you need, and vice versa. And so when we're presented with differences from the things that we were raised with or believed, but we come in contact with that thing that we thought we knew, and we find it to be completely different. Have you ever had an experience like that? Whether or not, there are people that have this. I remember there are people that, for instance, have this uncanny fear of dogs. Small dogs, large dogs, doesn't matter. If it's a dog, they're just scared of it. They'll run away or whatever. Because something happened early on in life that gave them that fear, and it was ingrained in them. It became a part of their wiring. But all of a sudden, something happened, and they're presented face to face with a dog that's friendly. And all of a sudden, their worldview changes. Now, you can use this for any scenario that you want. But when you think a certain way about a certain thing, you form a belief, because a belief is simply a thought that you continue to think. That's what a belief is. It's a thought you continue to think. And so if you have a negative thought about yourself that was put there by your mom, your dad, your brother, your sister, your teacher, whoever, at an early stage in life, now as an adult, you have to start overcoming those things. And there are so many things that I've discovered, even in my own life, that I thought I knew. But when I came face to face with the experience, it completely changed my viewpoint and worldview. I'm going to take a short break right now, but we're going to come back and we're going to get into how do you get over these things? How do you solve these problems? How do you change your self-limiting beliefs? How do you go beyond the false programming, I should say, that you've gotten from society, from environment, from culture, all these different things? We're going to take a short break, but we're going to be right back. So keep it locked right here on Align with Your Purpose with Earl Hall.
Get the book Align with Your Purpose by Earl Hall. Find and walk in your purpose. Get the answers to your questions about life and how to make it exactly what you want are in this book. This is your chance to stop living in a life you hate. Discover how to manifest the life you actually want. Get Align with Your Purpose now on Amazon, paperback, Kindle, or audiobook. You're an entrepreneur or small business owner, right? Are you utilizing Facebook ads or Instagram ads? If not, it's probably because you just don't know how to produce the content. At earlhallstudio.com, we can create an audio commercial as well as video commercials for you to really get attention to your business and make more money. Audio commercials for radio and audio platforms start at just $99. Or you can go all in with a great commercial for your business to be aired online or even on TV, starting at just $197. Get more information at earlhallstudio.com.
All right, folks, thanks for keeping it locked right here on Conversations Radio Network, as well as on my Instagram feed at Align With Your Purpose. For tuning into this show, Align With Your Purpose, I'm your host, Earl Hall. Today we're talking about thoughts become things. And before we went to the break, we talked about some of the problems about the thoughts and the self-limiting beliefs that you have. And now we want to get into some of the solutions, because that's the thing. It's one thing to know what the problem is, but when you start seeking out the solutions to these things, you'll realize that that's some real work. I'm a big fan of Iyanla Vanzant. The show is on OWN, Iyanla Fix My Life, and she talks about doing the work. And that work is that self-work. What do you have to do as an individual to become better? But what's so funny is so many times people don't even recognize that they need to do better or ought to do better and do some self-work to overcome some things. All of us have baggage. All of us have baggage, whether it's from parents, school systems, religious institutions, school, work environments, college, ex-girlfriends, ex-wives, ex-husbands, ex-boyfriends, all these different relationships, best friends that have just ruined your life for whatever reason. We come with so much different baggage, illnesses that have happened to us or our family members, so many different things, physical attacks. I mean, you name it. There's a bunch of different ways that we can carry our baggage around. And so many times people will say, well, I'm done with that. I forgave that person. I'm over that situation. But they're still talking about it. They're not over it. They're still talking about it. And you can see the emotion in how it is that they or you talk about the situation, and it lets you know that you're not over it. There's some work that you need to do. I had, personal thing here. I had a business fail just about 15 years ago. It was a good business. My background is in engineering, mechanical design, and had a business fail through, I used to say it was through no fault of my own, but it was, because I made the decisions, right? But the business failed, and I went through 3 years of depression not knowing that I was going through a depression. And I kept replaying the story in my head over and over again about what happened and why it happened. But the situation wasn't going to change. It was done and over with. I needed to move on, but couldn't. So how do you move on? If thoughts become things, how do I change the things that are happening by changing my thoughts? Because the thoughts that I'm having and the feelings that I'm having are continuing to perpetuate in my life. One of the biggest things that has helped me has been a spiritual journey. Meditation has played a big part in that. Even at alignwithyourpurpose.co, it's one of the things that are there, some meditations to be able to help people. And really diving deep. For me, meditation was a way for me to see myself. During that time I was telling you I was going through depression, I was an angry son of a gun. I was angry every day, and when I realized what it was about and I started doing my work and getting over it, because one of the things that once you start doing the work, hopefully you will quickly begin to realize is that no one else gives a crap. And if you keep talking about it over and over, no one wants to keep hearing you talk about the same stuff that happened 20 years ago, 40 years ago, 5 years ago. No one wants to keep hearing that. And the person that really shouldn't want to hear it is you. Stop telling the story. Because every time you tell the story, you give it energy and you give it place in your life. Stop telling the story. Some of you may know the Bible verse that says life and death is in the power of the tongue. It's your life and your death. You're causing it to yourself. So when you want to change your thoughts and you want to get over your self-limiting beliefs, you've got to start doing the work on yourself and be honest with yourself. Look yourself in the mirror, which I've said so many times before, is one of the scariest things to do, is to just look in the mirror. Be honest with yourself, because you can't BS yourself. You might be able to do that to others, but if you're telling yourself a false story about yourself, yeah, I'm over it, but you're not, you know it. If you're putting yourself down every time you're what I call the architect in your mind, that voice that's always there, if that voice that's always there is always negative, you've got some work to do. Look into meditation. Look into self-help. Get some help. I had to. And the help that I got me back on track. It was just a lot of self-work. And when you do that work and you stop giving yourself excuses, you stop giving yourself the excuses of, oh, I was just born this way. Oh, this is just how I am. You're giving yourself excuses and you're not able to reach your full potential. Because there is greatness in you. There is greatness in you. Way more than you probably even know. So many people hold themselves back to mediocre lives for a lot of reasons. But not doing your work and working on yourself to become a better person, different from the person that when you look in the mirror you don't like, when you start doing that, things will change. Look, I want to thank you guys so much for tuning in to the show today. Make sure that you do visit the website, www.alignwithyourpurpose.co. When you're there, you can grab the book, Align with Your Purpose, by yours truly. It's available on Amazon.com right now in audiobook, Kindle, and paperback format. I want to thank you guys so much. Make sure you subscribe to the podcast. There's some great links in the descriptions of the podcast. Just go to alignwithyourpurpose.co. I'll see you guys on Monday. God bless.